Hey everybody, pre-market prep at the close. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin with you for the next 20 minutes or so as we wrap up today's trading session. Uh, Pretty eventful day. You had Jerome Powell sort of realigning how the Fed is going to deal with interest with inflation going forward and interest rates. You've got reports that TikTok could be sold off within 48 hours. Microsoft and Walmart now teaming up on the bid there. We got Generac. We talked about that this morning. Just follow through on that trade. We talked about DraftKings, not so much on that trade. A lot to get to, Joel. I'll throw it to you, and you can recap the S&P futures for us.
Good afternoon, Spencers and traders. I want everyone to be chanting 3,500, 3,500, 3,500, and see if we could push the market past the current high of 34.98 and a quarter and hit 3,500, a number many of us, including myself, could not have imagined back in the dearth of the sell-off back in March. But here we are, folks. Another day, another new all-time high by a wide margin, due to post a new all-time closing high as well. Today was a little bit trickier. As you can see, you made that high around noon, and then the noon balloon turned out to be a saloon, and it turned out we had a big break there, folks. We had a 30-point break, but caught a bid just under a good daily number at 34.66. Turned around, rallied back at the highs of the session. So just another continued march north here in the S&Ps. I don't know if we're going to be able to cross that 3,500 threshold, but perhaps the overnight traders, the overnight Fed traders can do it tonight. A little bit thinner market.
Yeah, you know they will. Financials leading the way today. XLF up 2%. That is the most among the sector ETFs. They liked what Jerome Powell had to say as far as being a little bit more hands off when it comes to raising rates to combat inflation.
That's good for banks. I thought the banks wanted higher rates.
You know what? You would think so, but that's what's happening here. So,
but there you go, thinking again. You never want to think in this market. You know what? These stocks just seem to be up and down, up and down, up and down. You get a sustained rally here, a sustained sell-off. So I don't know. This $25 level that we hit on Monday, that looks like a pretty good low. Now they're doubled. I'm looking at Bank of America here. So yeah, I mean, it's just so hard to get a consistent pattern in this. Let's look at the behemoth of banks, JP Morgan, the best in breed. I guess if you're gonna buy a bank, it's gonna be JP Morgan with that hefty dividend and chance of capital appreciation. Haven't heard much from our old buddy Jamie Dimon lately. Could you get? I know you've been hot getting CEOs on the show, Spencer. When do you have Jamie Dimon scheduled?
Yeah, he has been quiet, hasn't he? I guess he did say some things in March and April when everything was on fire. But yeah, he has been awfully quiet.
He said we're doomed. He said we're having a recession, is what he said. Remember that? Not doomed, but he talked about recession and bank loans. But all's well, back over $100. Financials are just, let's see if they can put a couple good days together in a row.
All right. A lot of internet news today, which you don't see too often. I want to go to Walmart and Microsoft here. There was a report from CNBC that this TikTok saga could be resolved within 48 hours. They were referring to a sale to Microsoft. Then there was a report that Walmart had teamed up. Actually, there was the same report. Walmart had teamed up with Microsoft on this TikTok bid here. And if you look at Walmart and Microsoft today, you will see the TikTok premium is in full effect.
I guess the big sticking point is they all want to include pre-market prep on the TikTok platform. And that's where they're hitting a snag in the negotiations. I guess pre-market prep is being very stubborn on this. But Walmart blast to a new all-time. They all can't win. So the only advice I have for you this one is like whoever doesn't get it might go back down tomorrow.
Well, so is that would be Oracle, and that would be That would be Google. That'd be Google, Oracle. I think those are the favorites besides Microsoft, right?
So maybe you short them all, and then we'll see what happens.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I
I
don't-
mean, my understanding of TikTok is limited, but it seems to be a very hot thing. I would just say the gains are nice. I guess Oracle may be the least likely to one because that's giving back some of the gains. But if you're playing this on the long side, I would just say it's great candles today. I just want to see what they do to the stocks
Yeah.
that don't win the TikTok
Yeah.
sweepstakes.
All right. On to my short sports trade. If you listen to me today, I'm sorry. It looks like I'm wrong, at least for the day. Even though the situation remains unresolved, there was some reports and that big green candle in DraftKings that was at like 11:30, 11:45 there or noon.
Was
That
that
was
you? Was that you covering your short?
no. That was the report that the NBA has agreed to resume their season, which happened, and then hours later, it came out that tonight's games are postponed. And same for the NHL, same for some baseball games. So situation's still fluid, but for now, my short DraftKings, short Penn, short Viacom, CBS, short Fox, short Disney. That has not worked out today.
Okay. And you know what? It's good to recognize when you're wrong,
Yeah,
right? And
hey, I'm not
triple
wrong. I'm early.
you're early. Oh yeah. So then you should be a moron and put moron and moron and
Exactly.
moron.
Exactly.
I like Craig's comments this morning. He was like, well, if the NBA is missing, I'm not really gonna like. Okay, I guess we won't be. We can cancel that sponsorship by the NBA for the show. Uh these stocks are in uptrends, right? So when a stock's in an uptrend, buy the dip. Triple D gave you an area to
Yeah.
try and buy the dip. You did get, I guess, if you were leaning on the pre-market low, I really don't. Yeah, daily lows here, you were good, but I mentioned Pan. I mentioned that as resistance. It did hit that early in the morning and did pull back. I don't know how this whole thing is going to be resolved, but these stocks are in uptrends. That 40 is still a tickler, man, for DraftKings.
Yeah.
It snuck out it, tested it last three sessions, so I think it's a close over 40, and you're looking good here in DraftKings. So it's getting up there. Just have no idea what the resolution is going to be to this.
Joel, I'm on a bit of a cold streak here because I also bought GMHI a couple days ago because that's one of these SPACs with electric vehicles or self-driving cars, and I'm also in the red there. So I'm
Uh,
cold right now. I'm
but
cold.
you're long term, Spencer. You're long
What?
term
I
here.
mean, not on this. I'm not. I don't know.
Not what
I don't know anything
you're
about the
turning
company.
into triple D
I
when
don't know
things
much.
go against you. Oh, get me out. Get me
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I don't.
No.
I don't. I admittedly do not know much about this company. I just know that it's a self-driving car startup. It's going public, and I figured, hey, let's throw a speculative trade out there. But not working out for me so far. So I'll wait for a few days. And
You know what? Yeah, I'm sure you're employing good rewards on this one.
sure.
Uh, Getting a lot of questions here. We'll try and get to
Yeah.
some of your stocks here in a little bit. I want to just I don't know if Triple D's listening. I think he does listen to the show for trading ideas. What a call on Generac today. Holy Toledo. And of course, when I talked to him midday, oh, I should have held my short. I should have held my short. That thing, it opened lower. Here's just a good trade or just a good tip, and I know I always mention this to you guys. The old whoops trade, right? Let's say you're bullish Generac, you buy the open, you're looking good for a little bit, but then it couldn't get to yesterday's high,
Yeah.
and then they pulled the rug out of this one. So, but Generac stock has been in a long-term trend. Actually, I looked NRC. I don't want to put that up there. Actually, I looked at this on the monthly, and since June of 2014, it's had two down months. And Spencer,
Wow.
for
Wow.
$64,
Really?
guess what 2 months that was?
Since June 2014.
Yeah,
Okay. December of 18 and March of this year.
close. February and March.
Okay. Not December of 18. Wow.
No, Oh, wait, was there no on the monthly? No, December of 18.
Wow. Okay.
Uh,
I thought everything was down December of 18. I guess not.
18, but I said since June of 19
Oh,
is
you said
where.
you said okay.
Maybe I
I
stand
misheard
corrected.
you. Okay. To the chat we go. I saw somebody mentioned Overstock. That was on my list too. Overstock
Oh,
is in trouble. Overstock is in trouble here. I think it's fair to say that.
yeah, it little tricky. Because you had basically four highs in the same area. They're not that close because it's $130 stock, or formerly was known as $128.50 stock.
Yeah.
You are $7. Did it get citroned again or something, or no news, or it's just like
What is the
people
short
just
interest on this? Short interest must be very high. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the shorts finally got their way today, and this is a big volume day on the downside. Lost $3 yesterday, a little bit more than that. Bad day today. You are off the low. So if you are picking a bottom in this one, today's low is also flanked by a couple other lows at 90.29 and 90.71. So there's your bogey. If you're still holding on for this long term, I would look at that. But just sneaky red candle here, sneaky red candle here, and then rally 2 days. So you didn't get that big red candle here, like, oh man, everyone out of the pool. So, but just could you look for me and said, what day did that analyst, maybe we'll try and get him on the show, that they are working on something that's revolutionary and extraordinary and out of this world? What day was that?
Was that Overstock that just got?
Yeah, it was. I know it
It
was. I know
was.
I'm not making this up.
It
I make
was.
a lot of
Yeah.
stuff up, but
Yeah. Yeah.
not
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. It was. I'll find it for you.
I bet you I could find the day. Is it the day that made its all-time high? Because if it is, I'm gonna kick myself in the
I
head.
think it was Piper, and I think it was on the 17th. Is that right?
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. So the trading session was the 18th, right?
No.
No,
I think
you can't see it,
yeah.
Pro.
Well, I'm just like we don't have the exact quote of the.
Okay.
I remember there
Well,
was
when
that.
was the pipe? Was it an upgrade or just?
Yeah, yeah. So there was a no. It was initiation and a buy with a 140 price target. So that was probably the rating in question. That's what you're thinking of.
And what day was that?
Monday the 17th.
Okay, so Monday the 17th. It was up. It was up big that day. Woohoo! 93.36. That the day before it made that low at 90.71. So there's your bogey. It went from 93.36 that day to 118. 2 days later, it hit 128.50. And then if I had a double top filter, which I should have, I would have recognized that there was a high at 128.50, a high at 128.32. Would have given you a short that probably wouldn't have worked out 9 times out of 10, but at least you had an identifiable high, two highs in the same area. Now that needs to hold $90.
I saw someone in the chat ask if anyone is in. Yeah, Mike asking about HPQ. Are they due to? I have them as being due to report after the close today, which is pretty rare. Talk about value tech here. I mean, this is in the group with Cisco and Intel, and those old stodgy tech names that don't really move a ton. I'm surprised to see HPQ on my calendar. I didn't realize they were supposed to report after the close today, but that's what the calendar says.
Uh, I mean, I think you said a lot there about old tech.
Yeah.
And so are you gonna, do you have a good technical setup in this? Do you have a trade? Do you have a target? Do you have, do that? $18, major support. Big boy stepped up at 18. Now you're kind of finding some highs at 18.75. In the way that I look at these stocks, the way I look at Cisco and the way I look at Intel and maybe HPQ for this matter, is that they're lower, beta stocks, right?
For sure.
And so the big boys, they'll rent these stocks. They'll say, okay, let's buy 1 million at 18 and we're going to sell a million at 1860. And that's all they're looking for. You know what I mean? And so you get these kind of patterns, and then the bots pick up on the 18 buyer. So, I mean, these stocks have just, I don't know what's going to turn around. And then, don't we have, we're all waiting for Hewlett Packard or Hewlett Packard Enterprises to come up with, solve the 3D world. And then now you got a SPAC doing that. So don't see the catalyst for this one, but if you have a good setup, a good trading setup, then go ahead, trade with it. I will recognize there's 3 highs in the same area. So someone's working out of a piece. 1886, 1883, 1880. That's the level you need to clear.
I
Get
just
into the
realized,
19.
I just realized the reason I wasn't aware of HPQ is because for some reason I thought today was Friday. And so no, it's not. Obviously Thursday. We got HP after the close. We got Dell after the close. The Gap is after the close. Bill.com after the close. So we do have a couple of earnings.
What happened with Dell? What happened?
VMware and Workday are like the interesting names there.
Dell, this is interesting. Dell had the Gap and go. That must have been when they're talking about divesting VMware, right? And so
that's still happening, isn't it?
Yeah, but is that the day that? Nah, that might have been longer ago.
Yeah, that was a while back.
So Dell, I mean, it looks okay. It's kind of old tech. I mean, I love Dells. I mean, you come to my place right now, and I got 1, 2, 3 Dells, and I got a Surface that I never use. So I like Dells. I can't really lump it in that old tech category, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
Spoos are losing momentum. I'm kind of disappointed in the chat here for not getting that 3,500 chat going. I think the bots picked up on that. And we got this going reverse. We are in jeopardy here of not having an all-time closing high today, folks. What a catastrophe. What an absolute aberration and catastrophe if we didn't pose at a new all-time closing high. I don't know if I'll be able to sleep tonight.
Last thing before we go, and Douglas is pointing this out in the pre-market chat, but the reopening trade, the airlines, the cruises, all got the pop at the open, off the high for the day. But I mean, and let's see, Norwegian's up 6%. Carnival's up 5.5%. RCL is up 6%. American is up almost 4% now. So good day for the reopening trade.
Do you want to give me, and this is for full disclosure, I have no positions in any of these stocks.
Yeah.
But you know when you should maybe think about buying them?
No.
When they start actually having cruises.
So next year?
Yes.
Okay. Good to know. I mean, I think you're not.
I mean, I don't know. Unless you want to be early. I mean,
you're not so off base.
I mean, they got to be bleeding money, right? I mean, how can they? Virtual cruises. I mean, Royal Caribbean looks that's having a good day. That's followed through.
Yeah,
that's not a bad looking chart. But I mean,
again, rips have to be sold. In these.
Yep.
So
yep. I mean, what the news today? That you get immediate COVID test and. And that's good. That's good for Abbott. I guess I was kind of right. Triple D was kind of right. I thought it would sell off a little bit more than it did. It did not. It did not take out did it get back up to that pre-market high? Oh no, that's the intraday high. But that had a nice rip, holding on to gains. Good day. No, never got to the pre-market high.
All right. The Benzinga Cannabis Hour is coming up next here on our channel. I put the link in the chat. You can also just hang out on our channel, and that show will be on live next. That's it for us. So for Joel Elconin, I'm Spencer Israel. Everyone, please remember that all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. 4 o'clock, we're closed. That's it. Everyone, have a good day.